And you know me, when I say 100,000, I'm talking about 100,000 of my money. You know, you let a white boy take your show, and I'm like, yo, play 101. And he's like, no, like duds. Like, y'all should be kissing the ground at Gils Arena's walk song. Like, you a grown ass little boy. Y'all are the annoying little brothers that you have to bring along when your mom say you gotta take your brother with you and go to the movies.
A hard coat, knock upon your front door. When your ass attack like cancer, burn your condo down. Let my pen drop, don't hear sound.
And straight like that, we back. Everybody doing out there in the world. Hope everyone doing well, doing swell. You dig what I'm saying? That's for me, myself, and I can't complain. I'd rather just keep it to myself, man. Now, we back in the building, man. You know, I'm covering some people that I've covered here in the past. You dig what I'm saying? Some of our basketball stars of yesteryear. You dig what I'm saying? One of these guys is recently out the league. I think he still may be hooping overseas. But this guy has had some run-ins with Gils Arena. Most notably, Rashad McCants. We all know the beef between him and Rashad McCants. He said he made this man quit.
Get out your mouth.
I'm just saying, but I gotta take it.
You said I don't know, but then
So,
you say it.
I said it on my show. I came on this show. I had the conversation about the things I said on my show. No lies detected from 9-4. Zero. I tell the truth all the time. That nigga quit.
Damn. Daddy. I'm a quitter then.
Yeah.
At a Lakers workout, Rashad went on to try and explain himself, and then others came out and said this is a habitual smoke ducker. You dig what I'm saying? So Pat Bev is on or something. Pat went and sat down with them folks. We saw how all of that played out. Here recently, a couple of months, it got flared up again, and now it is back again. I caught a part of the Pat Bev podcast, and towards the end of his little show, he had to double back and get some folks together.
Oh, we gotta hit the obvious, Brandon Jennings. Oh man, let me fix my chair. I forgot about this corny, lame ass dude. Brandon Jennings. I think he went on. I think he said something like, you let a white boy take your show. First off, that seems a little bit racist, but you feel me? I ain't the one that called out racist.
Over here, straight like that, we cut it down the middle. We're going to call spades. Now, I made a show about that. When Pat Bev, off the back of his little situation involving his little sister, you dig? Supposedly the little sister had snuck out the house, or snuck someone in the house, some nefarious doings with the love interest of hers. And she's a young girl, 15, 16 years old. Mom called Pat. Pat come over there and commenced to choke her out, what have you. I didn't have a problem with any of that. I said in that film, if I were to run across the same circumstances, I would do the same thing that Pat Bev did. So I had no problem with what he did. He had to go through a little court proceedings. Eventually his sister, I think she dropped the charges, wouldn't testify. So he came out clean. When he returned back to the podcast world, went back to his old show with, I think, Rome is the white guy that was on the show, supposed to be his friend for all these years. He went back to the show. The show told him to call Dave Portnoy. Dave Portnoy told him to call the show. The show said, yeah, just spin them around in a circle. Eventually, they tell him, hey, Dave said, man, it's not me firing you. The guys don't want you back on the show. The show, that was his show. So they cooking on that point. They did him bad. It's not like I'm siding with Rome, the white guys in this thing, but we just called him a spade. He indeed lost his own show to a white guy.
I mean, I gotta respond to it. If anyone knows, I wanted to play Brandon Jennings. You know, Brandon Jennings was talking about 101, this, that. You know, he was in my draft class, and you know, it was a big thing that we was going.
Pat Bev, I'm rocking with you, but we call spades. Address you losing your show to the white guy. You skipping right on into the basketball thing. Let's stay on track, sir.
That we was gonna play 101. This. I had time last summer, right? I had a lot of time on my hands. I said, okay, cool. I'm down to play 101. You know, let's pay for 100,000. And you know me, when I say 100,000, I'm talking about 100,000 of my money. Like I go to the bank, give me a cashier's check for 100K, or go in the attic and go to my secret stash at one of my mini homes in the USA and pull out 100,000. So I was talking about that. I didn't know that he was trying to get sponsors to put up money for him, right? I was putting up my money. I thought that's how it goes. again, he likes to chirp back and forth. He talks about this, he talks about that. He said something that kind of, you let a white boy take your show. And I'm like, yo, play one-on-one. And he's like, no, I'm not playing you one-on-one. I'm 36, 37 years old.
Now, hold on. This is just for clarification purposes. BJ came at him about what went on with his podcast. Pat Bev's response was, I guess, so what? Yes, it happened. Play me one-on-one. Those two don't line up. I don't even know how you put these in the same category. Even if you dominated him in the basketball game, Pat Bev, does that take away from the podcast situation and how it played out? Now, Pat Bev is a rich man. I doubt that he's feeling any kind of way. He's probably feeling the way about the way they did him, but I said I don't think that show is going to do numbers without Pat Bev. I'm sure Pat Bev is probably doing good enough numbers on his own, so I don't think he hurt up all in his feelings, fucked up about it. But, you beating Brandon Jennings in the basketball game or anybody on that couch in the basketball game does not, absolve you of the messages that you went through. And I don't know that he had a choice in it, but, when you allow yourself to befriend a certain category of people, when you allow yourself to work for a slovenly built, all around shit of a human Dave Portnoy. Hey, there's certain things that come into play. You dig what I'm saying? So, that's just what that is.
Years old, play me in golf. Play me in golf, he said. And I'm like, okay, all right. He's like, yeah, I give you time to work on your golf, this, have some etiquette, Pat, wear a collared shirt, like, very entertaining young man. Like, you talking about a McDonald's All-American. You talking about you YouTube Brandon Jennings high school highlights. You talk about probably one of the best mixtapes that you ever seen a player out of high school have, and not have a successful NBA career. It's sad. I don't even think it's funny anymore. It's sad for him. It's
now. In clarifications, you dig what I'm saying? Now, from what I understand, what I remember, BJ played basketball 9-10 years. I think you have to make 10 years to make your tenure, what have you, in the NBA, so that you can receive your maximum pension payout and what have you. Brandon Jennings was an interesting case. He was full of bravado when he left out of high school, because didn't want to go to college, and I think at that time you had to go to college. I don't know, the one and done rules, I forget if they had switched up at that moment, but he ended up going overseas to China to play, getting a bag from them. Then he came back and started with the Milwaukee Bucks, ended his career with the Detroit Pistons, if I'm not mistaken. Now, Brandon had a couple injuries, you know what I'm saying? Injuries seem to thwart a lot of these players' careers, but it wasn't like he was just trash in the league and just had a Rashad McCants career. Rashad would be the one that you said didn't have a successful NBA career. He was in 4 years, didn't get a second chance, a second contract. Brandon Jennings obviously did. He went to another team. Another team was interested in his services. He went up there and did his thing while he could, but then he got injured. I think he hurt his foot, if I'm not mistaken, but I don't know if I can say he didn't have a successful NBA career. Pat Bev now.
Honestly sad. You talk about a waste of talent. You talking about a complete waste of talent. You talking about having etiquette. Like, I'm in the south of France for the summer. You feel me? Like, I'm trying to figure out if I'm gonna put this, 4,000 or 5,000 euro on banker or player during the summertime, and you sitting on another man's couch and another man's home, talking about other men and what should they have done with their careers and what should they have done in their basketball.
Bad look, Pat. Bad look, Pat. You do the same thing, my nigga. Prior to you getting unceremoniously put out of your own podcast, that's what you did. And I would argue that in Pat's case, it's even lamer, because you're sitting on the couch with a bunch of chuds that can't hoop, talking about basketball players and, probably getting off some comments that wouldn't fly over there on that Gils Arena couch with that group of individuals. There's a stark difference in the people on the couches. So you were sitting at somebody else's facility doing a podcast, talking about basketball players, and again, with a group of guys that aren't prior hoopers. So I don't know what kind of point he's trying to make right here, bro.
Basketball game when you wasn't successful in yours at all. I don't get it. I just don't get it. Like, you feel me? And I can't speak about everybody on that couch. I can only speak about him and the dude Rashad McCants, the guy, you know, the guy that be.
And again, real quick, I remember back a couple months ago when we went into this argument, the whole thing about the couch. I started looking around at all these players' net worth and what they made. In Brandon Jennings' case, Brandon made about $90 million in his time playing basketball. That is a huge chunk of change. Now, I know people like Gils Arena, you know, they signed $100 million, $120 million contracts. Kenyon, I think, got a couple of contracts. Pat Bev happened to be playing in the what do you call it? The just outrageous number league. Now, you know what I mean? It's nothing for a person to get a $250 million max contract or $150 million 2-3 year extension. You know what I'm saying? They just throwing money at these boys. So, of course, Pat has made more money than him. He can look at his contracts and their little boys, their contracts. But, you know, in the world of millions, bro, I don't know that there's a difference in 5 and 20 million. You know what I'm saying? It's not like you literally going pay cash for things. You know what I'm saying? When you got $5 million, you got good credit, you got a cachet to speak for you. So I can get the same thing you can get with 20 million with my 5 million. You know what I'm saying?
Quitting. You talking about so much talent between those two. North Carolina national champions, All-Americans, and just complete fucking duds. Like duds. Like, y'all should be kissing the ground at Gils Arena's walk song, because if it wasn't for him, we would still not even see y'all in the world. You feel me? And I'm only talking about those two. You feel me?
And again, bro, you can't put BJ and Rashad in the same conversation. I don't know how well Tough Crowd, Brandon's clothing line does. I've seen a couple videos and commercials, and I tend to think that he does well. Does he make just multiple millions out of it? I'm not sure. I don't think he was bad with his money that he earned. And again, the careers of Brandon Jennings compared to the career of Rashad McCants aren't in the same stratosphere. So if he was directing this towards Rashad, he would have a point, but it kind of falls flat when you know who Brandon Jennings is and know what he did and know what he's doing now. You know what I'm saying? Now, Rashad should most certainly be grateful for Gil. And Gil, Slick reminds him of that every time he's on that couch. Because, yeah, without Gil, Rashad would be, you know, I can't say the man would be a nobody. Who knows what he would have done outside of that situation and what kind of ideas he got cooking up in his head. But when it comes to Brandon Jennings, bro, Brandon Jennings was Brandon Jennings before Gils Arena, and I think he would be fine if it wasn't a part of the thing. It's same with Kenyon, bro.
Kenyon Martin, you already know the vibes, OG. Nick Young, I can't never say nothing about you. You get big, you know, you got huge buckets in NBA Gils Arenas. You feel me? No words. But like, it's only two people on that couch that I can kind of like, if they told me, oh, Pat Bev, you went too far, chill on Brandon, that I'd chill. And that's Gils Arenas and Kenyon Martin. You feel me? Because when you talk about career earnings, right? Because I'm a numbers guy. I don't know. Money talks, bullshit walks with me. So I'm a numbers guy. You talk about career earnings, it's only two people on that couch. Gilbert for sure beat me. I think me and Kenyon Martin are close.
And here go the money argument I just spoke on. You know, Pat Bev has made umpteen millions of dollars in the league, but it's a different league now. You know what I mean? Inflation and all of that has occurred. So, you know, that $150 million contract he got is equivalent to a $50 million contract that, say, a Kenyon Martin would have signed 10, 20 years ago. You know what I mean? You can't count my pockets, bro. Again, I doubt that there's many, if any, things that Pat Bev can afford in his life that anyone on that couch would have trouble getting. You dig what I'm saying? It's different era, different contracts, a lot more advertising and TV deals and all of that. that. So it's a bad argument to try to make how much money you made as if that means that you were just some kind of super-fly player. You know, Pat Bev didn't do much on the court. He was a defensive beast, and he tried to get under your skin. You know, a lot of teams saw that to be valuable, but don't confuse the contracts with you being a GOAT. You know what I'm saying? And the contracts that they didn't get, meaning that you were better than them. It was just a different era and a whole different financial situation, man.
Made more money in career earnings. It's only one person on that couch, and again, no disrespect, OG, Kenya Martin. It's only one person on that couch that's made more money in podcasting than me, and that's probably Gils Arenas. Like, pipe down. Like, you a grown-ass little boy. And you know if you see me in public, you wouldn't be speaking with any of this. You know that. Like, you know that. Like you know that. So, like, you feel me? Like, let's be basketball players. Let's keep it basketball. How all of a sudden you was ready to play me in basketball 8 months ago, and 8 months later you're too old now. It doesn't make sense. And now you talk about etiquette. Like, come on, man. You work at somebody's house on a couch, man. Like, stop playing. Like, stop. Little Brandon, stop. Little BJ. Like, I watched film from a couple weeks ago. You watched film from your rookie year 15 years ago. We are very different. Rashad McCants, you watched film from college. I watched film from literally 9 days ago. Man, what could I do different in that pick and roll? We are not the same at all, boys. We are not. Like, we are not the same. Y'all own y'all fourth acts. I mean, Brandon, you done went basketball, you done went clothing line, you done went podcasting, you done went, now you talking about golf. That's you on your fourth act. Like, you on your...
All right, something just occurred to me as I'm wondering. All right, Pat Bev is still hooping overseas, but he made a hell of a lot of money in the NBA. Yeah, I think they pay decently overseas, but you know, Pat Bev wasn't one of them ones. So if he's still available to play in China, whatever, my first question would be why? I guess he just loved the game of basketball, but seems extra to be still playing basketball. You're not still making that kind of money. You're older, but I guess he loves the game. But that would suggest to me that if China is interested in giving Pat Beverley a bag, could not Rashad McCants or Brandon Jennings also survive and strive in the Chinese league, the overseas leagues? I don't know if it's saying a lot that you still playing overseas, bro. Like, that's not the highest level of basketball. And I tend to think that a couple of people could take those positions, but they just like, well, why do I want to go over there to hoop now? I'm chilling. But, you know, that's Pat Bev's stance. Since I'm still playing ball and I can look at recent stats, you know, that further proves that I'm a better basketball player than you or whatever, what have you.
I'm still hooping. High level hooping. Like, I'm pissed I didn't get a triple-double 9 days ago. I'm pissed. Like, I'm hot. Like, damn, man, I'm tweaked. I should have got the triple-double, man. I'm lazy as fuck. I should have, you feel me? Like, I'm hot.
I think that's more evidence to what I'm just saying about the level of ball playing over there. Now, I'm sure Pat Bev was a dog in high school. He can score. He's got height. He can jump and all that. Pat Bev was not a scorer in the league. In fact, I don't know that there's any particular stat that you look to that Pat Bev just filled up the box score with. You know what I'm saying? He's a gritty defender. You don't really count stats on defense or the steals and blocks, but he was a gritty defender. So if Pat Bev is like a bucket or two, or assist or two away from a triple-double, those are numbers way outside of what he used to do in the NBA. So again, I say, if Pat Bev is hooping like that overseas, I think they would be interested in a Brandon Jennings or a Rashad McCants if they were interested in playing overseas.
Like, I'm watching film, breaking down film of me a week ago. You watching shit from your rookie year in the NBA. And Rashad, you watching shit. You didn't even have an NBA career. You watching shit from your college. Y'all do not count. Y'all are the annoying little brothers that you have to bring along when your mom say you got to take your brother with you and go to the movies. That's what y'all are to Gils Arena and Kenya Martin and Nick Young. That's what y'all are. Like, for real, annoying little boys that you have to entertain because they're there. he go say some wild shit. So you have him on the side.
I can't let him cook on BJ like that, bro. BJ ain't that. I would agree with you on Rashad. Rashad is just like, he kind of like the pity. They can't fire him because they're going to feel bad. And people like, damn, bro, why you fire Rashad? You know he ain't really got nothing else to do. You dig what I'm saying? But they butt heads a lot. And Gil seems to not be around as much. But when he is, he seems to have a direct line of smoke for Rashad. You know what I mean? And Rashad has just offered so many bad looks over the last couple of years, and this whole duck and smoke fiasco, and then he tried to turn his anger into checking the cash for not having this. That was just a bad look. So I think that could apply to Rashad, but not BJ, bro.
Like, for real. For real. So y'all pipe down, and it's still all up, right? And I talked to Drake, too. Man, Pat, man, I got $250,000, man. Not Drake, no, man, that man ain't. So, Brandon, this is how we go do this. I got $250,000 of my own.
Another bad look, Pat Bev. I was just going to be honest. As it pertains to Drake, I'm just not. I know who Drake is. I heard some of his songs. I never seek out any Drake material. I know the whole Kendrick Lamar thing got going, and apparently just yesterday, Drake drops 3 albums. Iceman, I think Habibti, and Maid of Honor. From what I understand, it's about 50 songs of pure mid-level marijuana. You dig what I'm saying? Like, oh my God, I was thinking about this a little while ago, and I ain't gonna get too off track. But bro, that is such a Drake thing to do. Drop 3 albums, like, nigga, I'm Drake. I can drop 3 at a time. Like, my nigga, I'm sure most of that was just like filler music, cutting room floor material. Every artist out here got 100 songs sitting on a hard drive that they could put on a CD and release. But it's such a Drake God of rap thing to do. You dig? But I look at that and I say, bro, there is no way that you can drop 3 albums. Because, you know, all right, on a normal album, you've got a for sure single, you've got a follow-up single, video look thing, then you've got about 4 bangers, 5 bangers, then the rest be filler. You can't drop 3 albums and every one of those songs not be single worthy. You dig what I'm saying? If they just good songs, eventually we're going to get bored. It's 3 albums worth. Who would even do that but someone that thinks like, nigga, I'm finna kill him with all of these songs I'm finna release? Like, there's no way you could release 3 albums at the same time and all 3 of them be fire all the way through. Like, it's just not. I don't even think Michael Jackson could have done that. You dig what I'm saying? You can name your biggest artist out here, and you talking about what? At least probably 12 songs, 36 songs. I don't think there's an artist out there that can drop 36 songs at one time and all of them be great. You know what I'm saying? So you bringing up Drake and this $250,000, and, you know, I don't know that that's going to do any favors for Drake because the community is on his head. So to hear him teaming up with Pat Bev against the Gils Arena, yeah, like, it ain't going to be a good look for Toronto and all that. You know what I mean? Well, they were from Toronto. But again, bringing Drake up in his 250, I don't know that that's bolstering your argument at all, sir.
$250,000 of my own money, not nobody else. I got $250,000 of my money. I got somebody else. Drake said he got $250,000. That's $500,000, right? You bring your 50,000 or 20 or whatever you can spare, right? Whatever you can spare, so I can add a water feature to one of my homes in the USA. That's what I'm gonna use your money with, a water feature. So we got a half a ticket to your whatever. To your whatever. Motherfucker, if you don't even want to bring no money, you just want to pay for respect. I'm cool with that. To your whatever. And we can dibble it down, you know, and come up and do it that way. But all that other stuff, like, come on, man. Like, come on. Like, not playing you in golf. Like, right, come on, what do you mean golf? Like, come on. I'm a hooper. I'm still hooping. Like, you feel me? Like, I'm a hooper. I'm still hooping. So that's my take, man. I think I'm pretty much done with that. And y'all might have rebuttals, and I promise you, after this, if it's no, you don't want to hoop, I will never say a word about you and blood again. Never again. But like, that's that when it comes to that, man. Shout out to Gils Arena. Shout out to King Martin too. Shout out to Nick Young. Even shout out to Nick Young. It's love, because you feel me? You made some big shots in the NBA, and I got to respect that, and I do respect that. But those two, they don't count. They don't count.
And he said them boys is nobody's to his career, man. And like I say, bro, if you break down that couch area, of course, we know the story behind Gil, his NBA exploits, his contracts, legendary status. You know what I'm saying? Kenyon Martin, all-time dog out there. Jump out the gym and block your shot out here. Nick Young, silly guy, but, you know, hit some big shots, as bro said. Got a couple contracts with a couple different teams. Well-loved Nick Young, Swaggy Pete. Used to hit on, what's the little thick white girl? Iggy Azalea. He was like one of the first one to put on the map with it, so shout out to Swag. Then you come around to BJ. BJ had a solid career, bro. I don't think you can hate on BJ and what the money he made and what he was able to accomplish. But now you spin on around to that other side of the couch. And Rashad McCants is just a lone man out when it comes to this conversation. But Pat Smoke has transferred from Rashad apparently to BJ. You know what I mean? I guess he chomped Rashad on off. Rashad ain't gonna do nothing. He lying. He's still living in North Carolina glory days. I'm on BJ ass now because he talking crazy now. In the game of basketball, I would probably pick Pat Bev in a one-on-one just because of the type of defender he is. BJ not a tall guy, not a big guy. He could probably body him around and all of that. But I don't know that proves anything, and don't look like they ever gonna play, man. He said he wanted to put his own money up. BJ wanted to put somebody else's money up and get sponsors and all that, which is sort of a smart business decision. But at the same time, if you want to hoop, you're a prior NBA baller. You're a ball out here, period. Put your money up put your money where your mouth is and get on the court. So don't look like it's gonna happen, man. But these boys had a rebuttal to it, and we're about to get into that next. Straight like that, I'm out.
Look up in the sky, it's a bird, it's a plane. Jack Travis, Lord Dungeon Dragon, spit that flame. Raise whole cities, your building can't